there was this Chinese company called Haokun, I'm gonna butcher it wrong, Energy, and they were working through firms through Turkey and the UAE, uh, and they were helping the IRGC acquire chemicals used in the production of their ballistic missiles. They were acquired by the hacker group Prana and shared through Iran International. I sent a link, but they also, but yeah, this shows a deeper connection between like Chinese companies and CCP and the IRGC. Um, and I also sent it to Jeffrey as well, and I know he'll want to discuss it too. But I just wanted to get your thoughts and everyone's thoughts on this because this is pretty interesting.
Okay, I'm gonna read the. Thank you for sharing the link when you. And no, by the way, thank you for going out on a hunt for these things and bringing it to our attention. I just
Oh,
fed
you're welcome.
the article to AI to get a summary of it at the key points, the key findings. So we could just, so I don't have to read the whole thing for you guys. So basically, here's the summary of it: leaked documents obtained by the hacker group Prana. Revealed a sophisticated procurement network involving Chinese, Turkish, and UAE firms assisting Iran's IRGC in acquiring ballistic missile components. Wow. So here are the key findings. The network, so it's a sanctioned Chinese intermediary, Haokun Energy, used a Turkish front company, GDCP, to bypass US sanctions and funnel chemical precursors to Iran. So here's how the shipment worked. The document details plans to ship 12,000 tons of sodium perchlorate and sodium chloride, enough to produce solid fuel for approximately 2,500 ballistic missiles. Holy shit. And then we have port explosion, a deadly blast at Shahid Rajaie port in April 2025 is now linked to a shipment of these specific missile fuel chemicals. And then we have the financing. And the operations are funded through oil for goods barter. So this is how they go around the sanctions. This is how you don't need the financial institutions to be able to do trade, right? So they do a barter system, oil for good. So and also cryptocurrency transfers and gold import networks. Haokun Energy reportedly still owes the IRGC over $1 billion in oil revenue, and the IRGC involvement. So correspondents link the network directly to Ahmad Mohammadzadeh. Oh my God. Really? Okay. A high ranking IRGC figure involved in clandestine oil sales. Despite denials, hold on, despite denials from Beijing's and assurances to the US, these documents provide the strongest evidence yet for Chinese entities facilitating the RGC missile program. By the way, guys, this is so damning. An operation this big will not be possible without CCP approval and CCP planning. Like this is not some companies in China that are doing this on their own. This is for sure planned and done by the CCP itself. There's no way the CCP is not involved in this. I'm actually now, based on this, I'm really eager to hear what what people, more knowledgeable people in this chat, have to say about this. So yeah, let's go to the responses.
Okay, so first sketch. Hello. One easy takeaway from this is that the CCP has 51% on every company of an ownership. So you can't do this in a company with having a CCP agent inside your company. Like even if you have an American company in China, there's going to be a CCP guy in there, and you're not getting to own 51%. You're not getting to own 50%. So every one of these companies has corporate ties directly to the CCP. There would be someone there that is informing of all these financial decisions. This isn't something that you can do on the side, or oh, this company did it and we didn't know. I could maybe buy that in Turkey, that there was a shell company in Turkey and the Turks didn't know. And I don't buy that a lot. I'm like a sliver in there, like, yeah, maybe. But they know, they absolutely know. Not only this, that explosion was huge. I suggest you pull up, if you can, the video on that explosion, because that killed a lot of people. A lot of people died because of that. It could be felt for miles and miles away. And if you could ever pull up or find, like just share that explosion from different people, it just shows the danger of what's being played with here. And they are labeled dual use materials, but don't let that fool you. Those dual use materials can have very deadly consequences. I would like to see some sanctions from this. Like, we had a trip over there. I don't remember any big deals being signed from that trip. I don't think we're on great terms. I think we had a little talky talk, but it's more of a talk like, hey, stop messing around, because bringing down the hammer. I do not know of any big deals that were signed, just a whole lot of discussions. And I think it's got to become sanctions time. Maybe for Turkey too. I don't know.
I think Texas Troop on YouTube chat is saying there is an active sanction on this company already from 2022. I mean, that's why they're using barter system and gold and other things, because there's already a sanction.
Yeah, you can increase it. You can always go higher. You could always sanction more.
But
You could
sanctions,
always.
yeah, but sanctions is not going to stop them from doing barter.
Well, I mean, if you're losing 100, let's say your economy is 500 billion, right? And you get a sanction of 50 billion, right? And they bump that up to 100 million, 200 million. Sooner or later, yeah, it doesn't stop the barter, but you might want to stop the barter because you're losing on all your other trade. That's the point of economic fury. You want to do this side thing, do this side thing. Maybe we can track it, maybe we can't. But as soon as you clock it, your trade with us and our allies is going to be affected, and that means you're not going to be able to sell our stuff on your economy and your tax system, and your stuff isn't coming here.
So I think you need to put, because the CCP as a whole is involved, because that company doesn't seem to give a shit anymore. Like, they're making their monies from other means. You need to punish the entire CCP. You could put just tariffs on them, on CCP as a whole, to punish them.
All China. Yes,
basically.
I believe that escalation is something I would love. You've touched on a point that is very good, that I didn't think about when I was talking about. But if it is on just a company, it should be CCP wide.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, someone's mic is open, so if you're not speaking, please close your mic. I don't know whose mic is open. I think it's good. I'm gonna mute your mic myself then. I think I fixed it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next person. Jeffrey.
Okay, good. This is Joseph. Can I say something?
No, put a one in the if it's about this, put a 2 in the chat, and Danny will add you to the list. And if it's a new topic, put a 1 in the chat, and Danny will put you on another list for the new topics. And then he will read your name once we get to you. And thank you, Joseph. So put a 2 in the chat if it's about this. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I just
go on, Jeff.
So again, I mean, this is one of the things that this is exemplary of one of the organizational operational ties between different elements of the autocratic bloc, whether it's the Chinese Communist Party, Putin's criminalized counterintelligence state, Mullah regime, now remnants, North Korean regime, etc. It's very true. Like, nothing happens in China economically that is not directly okayed by the Chinese Communist Party. The Chinese Communist Party's overall strategy views economics as part and parcel of warfare. You see that with regards to, and Sketch touched on this, some of the violations of the very agreements that the Chinese Communist Party had signed on to and then violated to be included in the WTO and become most favored trade status and all this other shit under Clinton with support of ANCAP douche canoes from Wall Street. Right. Like they were supposed to sit there and fully privatize all of their companies. They didn't do that. The Chi-Coms maintained 51% control, so controlling shares of every company, because the Chinese Communist Party engages in things like economic warfare and adopted things like state capitalism. It also is the economic manifestation of something called civil military fusion. So it's not just enough to sanction these fucks. We need to de-link from China. It is going to be painful. It is going to take a mass national mobilization. It is not going to be free market crap. It's going to be a blended, mixed approach. We have $37 trillion of fixed capita that we have invested in China over the past 50, well, ever since the opening up of China, with special economic zones in like the late 70s to today. There's a reason Gordon Chang pushed for that right after the onset of the Chinese Communist Party pandemic, Wuhan COVID-19. Part and parcel of that should be to maximize the onshoring and or friendshoring of critical industry. And when we finally get to a point where the geopolitical and strategic wherewithal doesn't allow us to take anything, I would contend, and I've actually suggested, we should just annex and take all of their shit and then have the people that have physical capital in China blow up their factories in place to say fuck you to the CCP. It doesn't matter how much you hate it. It doesn't matter if you want to like jump up and down like Rumpelstiltskin or push like fucking neo-Marxist or Maoist crap or ANCAP bullshit. This is where this world is at, period. The enemy gets a vote. And you're seeing it now. The fact, how many times did I outline one of the core reasons why President Trump was, and Israel for that matter, was forced to respond and preemptively hit the Mullah regime is because the Mullah regime was readying its ballistic missile and drone forces to fucking launch en masse. Ballistic missile forces that were increased in both quantity and quality with regards to solid fueled ballistic, upgrading their ballistic missiles to being solid fuel, which means they can be launched ready to go. This has to happen. And a lot of people in the Chi-Coms, they spend exorbitant amounts of money to fucking bribe whores in our government and or in like CEO headquarters to try and lobby to make it not happen.
Okay, thank you. Let's do Samantha next.
I mean, like, I don't know, like, we have to like impose sanctions to like words are difficult. It fucked with me like on such a level that I don't think I even understood how much it fucked with me in January when like the internet, like everything was happening and like the internet shutting down, and I'm like, I know the CCP had to have been involved in like helping shut the internet down in Iran, and you have no idea how much that just like I don't think I understood at that moment just how much that was going to like emotionally fuck with me. Like I can't talk.
It's okay, Samantha. Thank you for sharing, and thank you for always re-examining your positions. It's very brave. Thank you.
Okay. Joseph is next. And you didn't put the 2 in the chat. I just want to remind you guys that there is a chat that you can access with the chat button in the bottom right. But Joseph, you can open your mic now.
Wait, hold on, let me enable his audio because he was allow audio. Okay, go on, Joseph. Joseph.
Mike. Okay, it's active.
Yes.
What I wanted to is in the last 12 hours, Japan has released some of its most advanced ships to the Navy, and it has worked out an agreement with Cambodia. And they are telling the Chinese in an indirect way that they should be carefully not to attack anybody, and especially Taiwan. I thought this is something that all of us should know, so because it's very excessive and improved escalation in the discussions.
Actually, that's
I'm
a
done.
very good point, Joseph. Oh, sorry, we're not finished. Go ahead.
Okay, well, basically, as I told you what I know so far,
Mhm.
and the new Navy ships that the Japanese have released are incredibly powerful. They're even more powerful than some of the US ships. And they only take 90 people to manage, as opposed to over 1,200. I'm sorry, 200 for the others. And they are loaded with incredible amount of electronics and AI stuff. And they can manage anything from radio to rockets to everything else, and they have an excessively improved detection systems for anything. That's all I have to say for now.
Thank you, Joseph. Thank you for the reminder. Three things about this. First of all, yes, Japan is making a huge shift when it comes to the level of aggression military-wise, and is doing a lot of security agreements. Is basically involved in doing a lot of security agreements with the countries in the region. New agreements with, I don't know, Vietnam, Cambodia, Philippines, South Korea. There's a lot of military drills and practices that they're doing with each other. Um, a lot of that, by the way, is to President Trump's credit. We have to give President Trump credit, because a lot of people think that President Trump is abandoning this area and is not supporting this area. But I see it as just removing the training wheels on the bike, making these countries stronger against the CCP, but making them more reliant, making them spend more. So that's point number two. I just want to say the strategy of President Trump making these countries, a lot of these countries didn't like it, that they seem like they thought that President Trump is abandoning them. But I think that it's actually strengthening them. Yeah, exactly. They're building it. Japan is right now in the center of creating an Asian NATO in the Pacific with all the countries there, which is really good. Like, we should all encourage that. But last point is that Japan has a huge barrier, which is their constitution, and they need to change their constitution. And they're in the process of that. Like, this is a very big political topic in Japan. And it's a very, very, like, it's actually a hot topic in Japan, and a lot of their uh, policy regarding defense and military activity in Japan, this is a very controversial topic, and the current government is trying to get enough support to be able to change that constitution when it comes to untie its hands, for it to be able to be much more militaristically aggressive. So the current government has a lot of support among Japanese people, and hopefully, this is why we should hope that Japan's economy improves, because if Japan's economy improves, the current government will become more popular, and if the current government becomes more popular, they would be able to have enough political support to get the votes needed to change the constitution. And if they do that, Japan will be unleashed. Japan is very technologically advanced, and they have so much to offer when it comes to military equipment, advanced military equipment. And the constitution is it's like holding them back. And hopefully the current government will be able to gather enough political capital to be able to undo that, because right now there seem to be leading in that area in in Pacific and South China Sea. And also, by the way, one thing I suggest you guys to use the word Indo-Pacific a lot, because China's policy is to connect the Pacific to that area, like to not see it as separate. Apparently, politically, globally, if you keep using the word Indo-Pacific rather than seeing the Pacific Ocean separately, apparently it helps China convince the world to become more involved in their defense, in getting support for creating their Asian NATO-like alliance in their neighborhood, right? Anyways, was that all the responses?
Sketch wanted to add something really quick, and then it's you.
Oh,
Yes,
that was-
just on this
Oh, yeah.
fleet would help us get those petrochloride, these shipments, so we don't have to be chasing all these ships down. This kind of alliance could help us stop this kind of shipment, check on it, make sure that that crazy stuff isn't, being shipped around. Because any one of these nations could look at that explosion and say, "Hey, I want to know what's on your ship," because you've been shipping some stuff that if it explodes near our ports, it could affect our economy greatly. And by these explosions I'm seeing, you guys, sometimes you don't have the best regulations on inspections and making sure that everything is spick and span when it comes to keeping these things safe. So I think this kind of this union directly relates to the topic, in that these dual use materials, they need to be able to be flagged and they need to be able to be captured, and it can't be only the US and all of the sea doing this.
Okay. Is it me?
Yes.
Okay, so I just looked this up and I was correct. Listen to this. This is actually very interesting. Japan promotes the term Indo-Pacific, and basically Trump also used it recently, which was Japan was very happy that Trump used it. So Japan promotes the term Indo-Pacific to broaden the strategic map beyond East Asia, where China holds dominant influence, by linking the Pacific and Indian Ocean. So it's trying to link them together. By linking the Pacific and Indian Ocean into a single geographical theater, Japan accomplishes two key strategic goals. One, brings India into the fold. It officially includes India, a massive rising power with its own broader disputes with China, into a regional security coalition alongside the US and Australia, known as the Quad. And then that's one. Two, shifts the narrative. It emphasizes a free and open Indo-Pacific. So free and this is another term that the Chinese keep using, FOIP, free and open Indo-Pacific. This is a term that they're trying to get trending, free and open Indo-Pacific. Okay, built on maritime security and international law, which contrasts with China's expansive territorial claims and built-in road initiatives. Ultimately, redefining the region creates a much larger unified front of democracies to balance against China's growing economic and military power. Guys, one thing it doesn't mention here is that there is this area that Japan thinks that the world is like ignoring, right? So the South China Sea is basically this area between the basically India, the Indian Ocean, and the rest of the Pacific to the right of it, and this middle area where Japan wants the world to focus on. So by basically connecting the Pacific and the Indian Ocean as this one thing, this center area in the middle becomes the key part from a strategic and military perspective. So that's another thing. Also, one thing else I wanted to show, again, I can't show it. So I'm going to put the link for you guys. It's only for 39 seconds. So I'm going to share this screen on YouTube with everyone else. Play it for 39 seconds. If you guys want to watch it when I click by clicking on the link. But I'm going to share it. So this is the port in Iran. This is what Sketch was talking about. This is the port in Bandar Abbas. These are so you guys could click it and watch it if you want. This is the aftermath of the explosion in Bandar Abbas. I think, when was this exactly? This was in April 2025, and this is the aftermath. This is the Chinese chemicals that was in the port, that was basically the precursor for building solid rocket fuels for the Islamic Republic. It blew up, and this was the aftermath in Bandar Abbas. Let me just play it for 39 seconds and then come back to you guys on school. But look at that. this was devastating when it happened. So this is the Chinese chemicals in Bandar Abbas blowing up, and this is the aftermath of that. We're just almost done. 10 more seconds. So yeah, it was a huge explosion. This was around a year ago. More than a year ago. Yeah. Anyway, so that's that. I just wanted to show you guys. All right, back to you guys.
Well, actually, back to them, guys, because you have a super chat.
Okay, we have one super chat by Attila. This is directed at Jeffrey. Jeffrey said, so Attila is saying to Jeffrey, Jeffrey, I respect your military subject matter expertise to the max. But it's saying, but you have to be realistic. You cannot sell this on the world stage. So, Jeffrey, you want to respond to that?
Oh, there are many ways to sit there and skin the Chinese Communist Party, which I'm not going to get into here. I mean, I understand that the Chinese Communist Party spent 50 years spurring foreign direct investment to try and insulate itself from backlash for their overall increasing amounts of belligerency and aggression. Sooner or later, it's going to come to a point where it doesn't matter what that economic interdependence is. We will absolutely go to war. A fair point, though.
My name is Armin Navabi. I'm an Iranian political analyst with decades of experience fighting the Islamic regime inside and outside of Iran. Make sure you follow me for more, and also make sure you join our discussion group. I'm there almost every single day. Come talk to me there and the rest of the people there in our group calls. It's a great place to meet and talk to people who like talking about politics. The link is in the description and or in the bio. You could also get there by scanning the QR code on the screen. See you there.